find the teaching, interview related questions, whatever that happens there. So today I wanted to tell you what you can do as far as negotiation for your salary is concerned after you've been given that go ahead, you're part of us now. Okay, before there is a question that you're asked sometimes, especially if it's a Christian, not even a Christian, a religious organization or a religious sponsored school. It could be maybe SDA, Catholic, ACK, whatever. Or even for the Muslim schools. So the question might pop concerning where do you worship, like for me, when they asked me that question, they were like, we have seen even your baptismal card, and you find that you have some certificates that clearly show that you are from a certain denomination. Let's say you participated in a certain workshop and it's still related to that work. So they will always find out even just by asking you. And they might want to know whether you are best suited for that role, remember, because in most cases you'll find that there might be a conflict of interest. Let's say you have gone to a Sunday keeping school and you're a Sabbath keeper. You might find maybe they're running their school from morning until maybe noon, and at that time perhaps you're a very staunch Sabbath keeper, so it might bring some friction, or you're on duty and it's boarding school. So you need to know how to defend yourself. Like in my very first station, it was a Sunday keeping school. So madam asked me what I will do now that I'm a Sabbath keeper, and I was so keen to tell her it doesn't matter, I can even delegate in a kamkunji manner. That already brings the aspect that you're a person who is able to communicate and collaborate with others. Because if I would have assigned someone to work for me, maybe for that just one day, it means there is a day when they will be on duty and I will have to also cover in for them. So so that makes you come across as a flexible person. The recent interview, when they asked that question, I was so keen to tell them, oh, this is a Catholic school. I've actually worked in a Catholic school before, and it's not a big deal, You just tell them, though you might appear shaky. So they really want to know, as much as I feel it could be discriminatory. Also, try to defend yourself on the grounds of inclusivity. It's like going maybe to a girls' school and you'll be told you are a man. So how are you going to survive here? No, I'm here because of my qualifications. I know how I will handle the rest of the shit. So try your best to know how to defend yourself. Alright. So as you are going forth, continue affirming to yourself. Positive affirmations. Tell yourself you're deserving of the best. Better times are coming. Your season is coming. You're enough. You're good. You're smart. You're competent. You're confident. Just keep telling yourself those things until your brain gets to adopt and know that is the truth and the absolute truth. Like for me, I used to struggle with fear, but the moment I used to tell myself I'm fearless, trust me, I no longer fear most of the things. I've become bold. I'm brave now, and I can confidently say that. So it came with a lot of hard work, doing journaling, trying to reprogram your mind, trying to face your fears. Like for those who are being held back, you don't want to seek greener pastures. My friend, it's high time you upgrade. Because even if you're at a place and you're thinking it's a permanent position, that is not necessarily true. Yes, because death might eliminate you, sickness might eliminate you, and many things, structural things might happen. So you need to be on top of the game likewise. Okay, so negotiating salary after the job offer. Now, yesterday we were talking about what is your salary expectation, and I understand sometimes you could be actually asked on the advert that you send your application together with your salary expectation. So I saw someone asking, where do you state the salary expectation? You place it on your cover letter, yeah, your application letter. You don't write it on your CV, because you're basically about your course of life. You're highlighting some, or rather documenting your life as far as that work is concerned. So you put it on the cover letter. And someone might ask, maybe after you've been called to that interview, and they'll be like, why is it that there is a difference between what you quoted on the application letter and now? Yeah, so you want to defend yourself based on that. You can tell them, maybe times have changed. You know, there are those organizations that you apply and you're totally forgotten about that application. Then maybe 3 to 6 months later, they're reaching out. Obviously, things would have changed. So you are also entitled to change. You know, maybe an year ago, bread was, let's say, 65. Right now it's 70. You don't expect me to be quoting the same thing. Yeah, you can also defend yourself based on the new qualifications you have had. Maybe you have enrolled for a master's, you had a diploma, you have enrolled for a degree, you had a diploma, you have gone maybe for a higher diploma. Tell them. So, how you have literally improved yourself. Maybe you are going for a managerial position. You have now gone for maybe the Kenya School of Governance, and you've learned about management. Talk about those things. Let me do something a minute. So thank you. Yeah, so as I was saying, so there are no people still on this live. Oh, we have one. Karibu sana, welcome. So I'm talking about the teaching job interviews, how to negotiate the salary. Yeah, so as I was saying, now that you have been asked why there is the difference, there is that disparity, defend yourself positively. You know, things have changed. Yeah, perhaps by then you had no obligations. Now you have more responsibilities, perhaps parental responsibilities. Maybe you have a sick parent, so, and all these things, they need medication, you need to go and see them, you need to transport them, so you need more money. So it's normal for you to have to quote a different salary expectation from what you had written previously. Okay, yeah. Now you have got the job offer, and you have been told this is the amount that we'll offer, and maybe you're not satisfied with it, no, or you're just excited with the job offer at that point. Or what you're supposed to do is you relax. Let me bring you a chart. So this is my favorite chart. So it says, take time to work. It is the price of success. Number 2, take time to think. It's the source of power. Take time to pray. It's the greatest power on earth. Take time to love. It is the privilege of God. Take time to read. It's the fountain of wisdom. Take time to laugh. It's the soul, the music of the soul. Take time to be friendly. It's the road to happiness. Take time to give. It is the mission of life. Take time to save. It is the secret of security. There is another one that is not there, so perhaps I can hang it. Yeah. So basically, you need to take your time, yeah, before you make a major decision. Don't make rash decision when you're happy or extremely sad. You're overwhelmed with emotions. You're likely to make bad decisions. So you can ask time to think, especially if it was now a verbal job offer, right? So first, express gratitude. Express that enthusiasm and what can we call it, excitement about the being considered, because you want to show them that you are a gracious person. You appreciate the little or the much that is given. Then request time to consider. All right. I know sometimes maybe you are so desperate for a job, and maybe you have been connected to that job. So, and you were told maybe we are offering amount X, but you feel like you need more perks, and you don't want to disappoint them because now you are brought in by person X, and you're like, what do I do? So at that time, relax first of all. Ask for some time, even a day, to think about it, whether you can consider or not. Don't just rashly say yes. But if you have been doing your homework all along and you know what exactly you wanted and they have already quoted, and you feel you're comfortable, you have weighed your options and you're okay, you're comfortable with it, we can proceed, right? Another thing, I believe at this time, try to research the salary benchmarks in similar roles if you hadn't done your homework before. So you need to start benchmarking so that you're not allowing money to go. Yeah, so get to benchmark what others are getting, what colleagues in your department are getting, then you can know where to go. Because what I realized is, in most schools, you'll find a TSC teacher, a TSC employed teacher, the permanent and whatever. They tend to earn more, yet they do less. Someone could be teaching as low as 12 lessons. Yet, when you're on contract, you could be teaching as many as 28 lessons. This is excluding the extras, like life skills, PE, if you have other roles like a class teacher. So, you need to benchmark and see how you can come in. You also need to know about the extras. Like as much as remedials have been outlawed, there are people who still do them. You see, and you find there are schools where it's a flat rate. Let's say you're being given 3,000, irrespective of whether you taught 2 lessons for a whole week, irrespective of whether you taught 10 lessons, or 8, so that you had a morning and evening lesson, evening and whatever. So you find it's not healthy. It's not a fair remuneration in such a case, because you'll find for someone maybe who had 12 lessons, it means they even have few lessons that they will go to that class, versus you who had a bigger workload, and as such you are assigned more lessons to attend as remedials, yet you're being rewarded the same thing. It's not fair. So at that time you need to ask. But now, if you're on that contract, let's say the BOM, and here it's number of per lessons, so you have maybe 5 lessons times X amount. At least you feel motivated, because it is the effort that you're putting in, you're also seeing it being reflected, you see. Yeah, so it's good you tend to benchmark and know what happens on the ground. You don't want to be in a situation whereby you will even have a burnout, because what these management are looking at is having the students engaged, you see. And they know, especially for the TSC employees, they might not come to school to just keep your children company if what you're offering is not worth it. So somehow there's that tendency to overwork the ones who are on contract because they have no say. Utasema nini surely? Why have you not come to a certain class? So you'll find that you really have a burnout. So ensure that you communicate that, research. Also know your worth. Yeah, like I said yesterday. So it's upon knowing your worth that you'll be like, oh, that's it. That's what you're offering. Can we discuss more? Or if that is the exact amount, that's your budget, we can even discuss on the flexibility of working hours. Yeah, you can work from morning or over the weekends. You can get to talk. Yeah. Another thing is you can establish a minimum acceptable salary, like we said yesterday, which is basically a compensation package to ensure that you live a competitive life. You have a lifestyle to maintain also. So get to say that. Usijifinyilia sana. Someone is giving you peanuts, and yet you are expected to be professional at all times, not to be engaging in funny things like you have gone for land deals, yet it's working hours. So also ensure you you whatever you speak for yourself. Yeah, no one is going to fight for you. You are the only one who knows your problems, who knows your aspirations, where you're going. So you need to know how to negotiate for your dreams. Yeah, otherwise there'll just be a pipeline dream, that might never see the light of the day. Okay, so another thing, prepare so as to be confident. You'll be like, I want X amount, or some actually you find the workload is so minimal and you feel you can offer more. You can tell them, I'm willing to offer this, and the overtime I'll be charging this, so you have a flexible compensation for you. Yeah. All right, that is dependent on what motivates you. If you are motivated by money, by all means look for an institution where you'll be compensated for your time, because you'll be exchanging time for money. Some will be exchanging value for money. So it depends. You must be smart in that game. Another thing is be positive and collaborative in terms of your mindset. Your mind, okay, they say that the greatest battles are won in the mind, and it's so true. It's when you are open-minded that you'll be able to say, can we fix? Is it flexible or it's written on stone? Can we do this? Is there anything more I can do to solve your problems at a given compensation? So you need to be open and collaborative as well. So it's not that you let the employer only speak, or you the only one negotiating. You'll appear arrogant. So just be open-minded until you reach an agreeable, fair remuneration. Yeah. Another thing, negotiate other aspects. Especially if you find that the salary is constant, or they're telling you that's what is on the payroll. Negotiate other aspects like housing allowance, the sick days, the leaves, just like I said in the previous live. Yeah. Also get to listen to the employer. What are they repetitively saying? Maybe they're like, this is our budget, we are struggling with capitation from the government or whatever. Or students, the parents are not paying the money, we have a shortage. So you get to also understand why they are doing what they are doing. Then you can come up with a solution, after listening to both parties. So be willing to also listen to them. Yeah, so that it's not a give or take. Yeah. Okay, another thing is show concern and empathy to them. This massages ego. Be like, oh, I understand your struggles, and I believe, okay, we can fix I can take that thing at this rate, and we shall revise from time to time. Yeah. Another thing is ensure the offer is in writing. Now that is the big deal. Ensure everything is in writing. This thing of verbal costs you a lot, because you find that you cannot sue them. It's just so unprofessional, it's so uncouth. Another thing is if it's written, also get to read. Some of you just do the way you do when you are signing in, maybe for an email. You just don't read all those things. You just go to, I agree, sign. You don't get to look into the details. It's in those whether it's about maybe you are fallen sick and it's within the first you have been admitted, and you're telling them, I have a problem, and they might be so rude, because they never expected you to fall sick within the weekend. I saw someone resigned, and people will be like, you're on probation, and when you're on probation, you should have, spoken. All these things should be in your contract so that you know what to do. If I've fallen sick, I communicate to the relevant office, I attach the relevant documents, and we proceed, because things like sickness are just like emergencies. You cannot postpone or force yourself. You are maybe bedridden to just go to work. It can't work. You will actually be less productive at work. In fact, there is that tendency, especially if you're lethargic, it will be contagious to your colleagues, because you'll be appearing sick and you're emitting these vibes to them, and yet this is a service industry, so it will be very detrimental to the whole organization. So yeah, if you're sick, go and seek medical care. It's your right. Yeah, all these things should be in your contract, what to do. If you have found a green pastures, give them a notice. Let them also give you a notice. Because we have this poor tendency that is happening in Kenya. I don't know whether it's happening in other countries. You find people are working on emotions. Yeah, you seek permission. Maybe you have gone for an interview because obviously you're looking for greener pastures, and you find you have gone, then you're coming back. Then because you failed maybe and you came back, yet the students are not been attended. You see, it's not fair at that point. Then there's that tendency also, you find that there's a mass exodus. And sometimes you find, someone has found greener pastures, maybe around 3 to 5 people, and now it's becoming a concern. You're also sitting there and asking yourself, am I in the right place? Why is it everyone is leaving, I'm the one here? Then one day you happen to ask for permission. You're just going maybe to see your sick parent, and someone just assumes you are also going for an interview. The next minute, you're hearing that, there's hiring of teachers in your position, and you have not been told, you're just there. So already you're feeling threatened. So what do you think this person is supposed to do if you're the employer and you're not communicating? This person will still find wind about it, that you're recruiting someone, and they will feel frustrated. So the next minute, they'll just wait for their pay and leave. Because you're also not professional. So let professionalism be two traffic way. You have it written. If I want to leave, I give you a notice. Yeah, and maybe you take the money. If you want to replace me, also give me a notice in advance, so that I also try to manage myself, right? That's, I think, what's supposed to happen. But you find in most cases there are no written contracts. Umeandikwa na penseli, as my father will say. Na wakati umeandikwa na penseli, you have always to be on the lookout. Yeah, that is the sad truth. So what I can tell people, especially like me, who are attached to their students, you want them to have that stability. Sometimes you realize this is not a romance affair. It's not a love affair, so you'll be romancing people's ego. No. Sometimes you learn to detach from these things, because the more you get attached, actually you find that it weighs down on you. You're like, no. But if it has come time to go, you will go. So just saying that let things be in written, so that you can even take legal action. Also, when you decide to leave in good terms. Don't bang that door. Shut it slowly, okay? Yeah, if it's someone's books, return them. And for those, I understand sometimes you find that someone has not paid you maybe for the last 3 months, and you're like, no, lazima nijilipe. Mfanyakazi hula anakofanya. A worker eateth where they worketh. So you decide to carry some stuff. Sometimes it portrays you in a bad light, because that is theft. Petty theft. But I don't know. People are different. There are those who will decide, tachukua labda kamusi, dictionary nini, I take. But now, for example, the curriculum has changed. 844 is almost going out. Utachukua wapi your books after some time? Unless you're going to maybe sell them to have a return on investment. I don't know. But let all of us be professional. Ensure it's written. Aki guys, let it be written. And the other reason I've remembered that you should ensure that contract is written is in terms of compensation. You see, you have traveled from wherever, maybe from home, from a different workstation, you have reported to the new workstation, especially if it's not the beginning of the month. You'll find if there was no written agreement, this person will pay you the way they feel like. Yeah, I'm telling you that from experience. You have worked so hard, because you're like, maybe I'm on a grace period, I'm under probation, and you overwork yourself. Because there was no written agreement, you don't know even the key performance indicators. So you find you have even gone overboard. Yeah, you have been overworking. Then, when the compensation comes, disaster, it's a half. It has been slashed. Or, in another situation, what happened is that, you traveled, you incurred those expenses, trying to settle in, and you have spent a certain amount of money. Then, they pay you that for that month, everything, just as you had agreed. Next month is when they remember, oh, tulikuja tarehe 10, tulikuja tarehe 4. They decide to slash all those money, ndani kwa ndani, even without informing you. I don't know. If you had a written agreement, you'll know what to do. But in this case, you find someone be like, but you didn't work for those days. And you're like, I'm not the one who advertised for that position at that time. So it's not even entirely my fault. If maybe someone left towards the end of the month, you have advertised for that position, you've got someone, and you're willing to work. You are willing to work even as far as the first day of the month. So it's their problem. And again, here you are being penalized. It's not fair. Yeah, so you find someone coming and bringing that amount X divided by the number of days, let's say 31 days. And the money goes just like that. So insist on having a work agreement which is written. I also understand that, all these things are favor. Like, there was a station I was in, someone had reported, even they went to the assembly, and guess what? Kerubo is the one who took the mantle for that day, even far away, you see. So it depends. Insist on written agreements. I will not say enough of that. Insist on that to protect you and also protect them. So there is need for us to be sane. We can't be operating like a market. Even in a market, there's some order. Actually, that is one of the principles of management, about order and organization. So we need to know what is stipulated in that agreement. What do I do in case of this? Yeah. If you're sick, take a sick leave and such kind of things. Otherwise, when you find you don't have a written agreement yet, you feel maybe the manager or whoever is in charge of that is not approachable. What happens is that most people decide to do things in Juakali way, you just leave and never talk to them. You delete their numbers, and that relationship is over. But now, when you want a recommendation, what happens? That's where the problem comes in. There is also a situation whereby someone will feel they're walking on eggshells and they have found greener pastures, but they need facilitation. Perhaps it's in the middle of the month. So what do? They'll just come and request even for some overtime. They just go and report to another station. And there's also a situation whereby you find the employees who just go because the workload is so much and they were not aware of that. Maybe they were not psychologically prepared, and they go where there's a better compensation with minimal work. Kenyans have a poor attitude sometimes towards work. They could be hardworking where there's perks or whatever advantages. But you find in situations where people are now into what? They're saying there's a lot of work. Maybe the syllabus has not been covered that much. Students maybe are a bit slow learners because of the foundation they were given. Sometimes it's not your problem. Especially with a 100% transition, what happened is that you'll find that children who basically are being school wheelbarrowed. And when you find that someone wants to even promote you based on performance, it's almost impossible. I believe for the science teachers, they have noticed that, you find it becomes so hard to move up the ladder because even the entry behavior was low. And you are competing with someone from a school whose students or learners came in with a high entry behavior and they have been able to maintain that. But whatever you do, mwalimu, just ensure that umeingiza kichwa ndani and you do your level best. Try to change what you can change. Yeah, and what you can't, leave it to God. That's where the serenity prayer comes in. You just accept what is beyond you and you ask for grace to do what you can do. Yeah. So that is it, teachers. I believe that has been helpful. So just go there and ensure that you're confident, you're prepared, there's professionalism in the way you're doing things as far as that job offer is concerned, and now what you're taking home, okay? Yeah, I still wrote for you. Better things are coming in. Don't sell yourself short. Yeah, be the highest bidder. Yeah. Show value so that you don't appear like you're just there for the money or whatever. Yeah, so that is it. I don't know, we should do another live and I'll be tackling something else. But now, as far as the job offers are concerned and the salary negotiation, we are done with it. Yeah. So I'm still insisting on paperwork. If there is no paperwork, that's a problem. Because in any case, how will someone know you worked there? Yeah. And how fair is it that they have your documents so that even when the quality and assurance officers come in, they are having all your documents in a file, yet you are there and you don't have any documentation showing that you are an employee of that institution. And there's a bad tendency sometimes that people use someone's documents, especially the TSC number, the institutions that have teachers, especially now that there was disruption in the industry for the sciences, they were taken in as interns. So you'll find most schools, the rest of the schools now, have been forced to have teachers who are still schooling and they don't have that TSC number. Yeah, that's a legal requirement. So what happens is that you'll find on file someone else's documents are being used. So maybe it's Kerubo will be using, let's say, my sister's number. Why is there darkness? All right. So you find your documents are being used by someone else and you have not been paid for that. It's actually illegal. I think it's not good. It's not fair. So also have a documentation. Insist on it. You did not come to play, and if you came to play, play hard. Yeah, let that be fairness. So yeah, have it documented. Until next time, bye 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 guys. Bye 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 bye. Hope you give value. We want to see change in the education sector, and change starts with me. Change starts with you. Bye.